Hey guys, it's your girl Okwe, and as you can probably hear in my voice, I'm not feeling the greatest. I've actually been dealing with a flu, kind of, a cough and sore throats. So bear with me in this video. And I'm hoping that this video is not too long. Hopefully I get better this week, and the next video that comes up will be much more, vibrant and more jovial and all that. But bear with me in this particular video. I'm gonna make it as quick as possible because I'm really tired, but I was just like, you know what, I didn't put out the video last week, and it would be a shame if I'm not able to put out the video this week. So yeah, today I will be talking about Married to Medicine and Real Housewives of Potomac, more so the Karen interview with Andy Cohen, and her reuniting with her family. So if that sounds like your vibe, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications so you get notified every single time I post a new video. With that being said, let's get into the nitty-gritty of this review, or this recap, or rant, or whatever. But I'm going to start with Married to Medicine. I'm going to try not to say too much. I'm not going to go in chronological order. I'm just going to talk about things I, noticed and things that I felt needed to be spoken about. And I'll start with, Heavenly. I do feel like Heavenly definitely put 20 on 10 with what happened in Angel's party. Simone definitely did not, what's the word, attack her physically the way she is trying to make it seem like. Like, we even get production playing back the tapes, and we see that she just literally picked Heavenly's hands off her shoulders, like, I'm not going to be fake with you, blah, 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 like, don't touch me. That was literally the interaction. And obviously, after that, they both get into this verbal exchange, and that's pretty much what happens. But Heavenly is trying to make it seem like Simone, like, physically attacked her, hit her, flung her hand, like, and all that. And it's just like, even all the ladies are like, come on, like, Simone is a lot of things, but Simone is not a physical attacker, and she would never do that. Simone will yell and scream at the top of her lungs, but to physically attack you or to make you feel like you are now threatened by her presence, or feel like you could be harmed when she's around, like, come on, Heavenly, like, why are you acting like the victim? We know you can handle yourself and all that. So I do agree with the other ladies, and unfortunately, with this situation, she has me supporting Simone, because what are you trying to do? Like, why are you trying to insinuate something that didn't happen, that we both know didn't happen? And, ultimately, this thing that you're saying about me could ruin my reputation in the industry, in the medical industry, and all that. Even though I feel like, again, for Simone, that is a little bit of a stretch, because Simone has, I wouldn't say Simone has been physically abusive or physically, try to assault anyone, but Simone has a mouth on her. Simone has been very verbally abusive, in my own opinion. So if anything was going to damage your reputation by now, it would have been that. And if your reputation is not damaged by now because of that, yeah, I don't think this is going to damage your reputation. Just saying. But yeah, Simone was not happy with the fact that Heavenly has been, going around making people think that she is a physical aggressor, and that I can agree with. Everything else, Simone, what's the word, verbally aggressive person. But at the same time, we could say the same about Heavenly. Heavenly also is a verbally aggressive person. So honestly, you two are two peas in a pod, and this is just stupid at this point, because you guys are literally the same people, and it doesn't really make sense why you're arguing right now. Simone doesn't really have any reason to be angry with, or didn't have any reason to be angry with Heavenly before this whole situation happened, because I think Heavenly told Quad about the VIN number situation with Simone, because she probably thought Simone was the one that told Toya about her son's situation. Let's not forget how we got here, Simone. Like, forget, okay, Heavenly embellishing this whole Angel's party situation, but let's not forget that there's a reason why we have gotten to this point. Your hands have not been clean since the beginning of this season either. Heavenly told Quad what you were saying about Quad and trying to look up Quad's information, and She did that because you had told Toya about something that she confided in you for. So you both have, double crossed each other. Let's not play the victim card, both of you, because you both are not innocent in all this. And, hopefully they're able to resolve whatever issue that they have. I think they tried to talk in this episode, and, Simone wasn't having it. Oh, no, I think the group of ladies tried to make them talk in this past episode, and Simone wasn't having it. Heavenly wanted to talk to Simone, but Simone just was not down for it. And I can understand that, you've been accusing me of this thing when we both know that's not what happened. So I'm not going to sit down with you now and try and address things for you to play the victim. Fine. What really irritated me about this particular situation was Jackie interjecting herself. Like, I really do think that this group has made Jackie feel like some sort of small letter G god, where she feels like, oh, even though the ladies don't want to do something and all that, if she puts herself in the mix of things, all of a sudden now the ladies are gonna jump, just because she wants them to do something. And I don't like it. I feel like it's very weird. I just, it doesn't make sense to me why they put Jackie on this pedestal. If the ladies say they don't want to talk, they don't want to talk. What makes you think that, oh, you coming down, kneeling down to both of them and crying you like as if it's you that this whole thing is about, would now make them want to talk? And I love that Simone didn't budge even when Jackie came to her, because what are you trying to do? Like, this is between me and Heavenly. Why are you getting involved in it? Granted, okay, these are your two friends and you just want your friends to be on good terms and everything, but I just feel like Jackie does this so much. Like, she has done this since the beginning of this series, and anytime she does it, it just rubs me the wrong way, because what are you trying to do? If these two grown women don't want to talk right now and don't want to settle things right now, then they shouldn't. You shouldn't feel like, oh, you should now come and be coming in between them and crying and doing all these theatrics. Like, I was just so irritated by it. And it always works for Heavenly. Once Jackie is in the mix of things, Heavenly immediately wants to jump and everything like a lapdog. And I'm just like, Heavenly, like, why? I just don't understand. So that didn't really work, I think. It did work on Heavenly because I think um what's her name? Jackie struck a chord with her, like talking about her son, and she knows, like, that's where Heavenly's real emotions and lashing out is really coming from. And then Heavenly starts to cry. I don't know. It just wasn't. It didn't hit me the way I guess it maybe hit some people when they were watching the scene. I just felt like Jackie is just always doing this, and Jackie really needs to stop. Like, I'm tired of Jackie doing acting like she's some god in the mix of this crew. And I think I saw something recently also, like, the reunion sitting chat has been released, and Jackie is first chair. Why is Jackie first chair? We've not seen anything interesting about Jackie this whole season. If anything, Heavenly, that is supposedly um a friend of the show this season, should be first chair. We've seen more of Heavenly, and Heavenly being in the mix of shit more than Jackie has been in the mix of shit. So I don't understand why Jackie is first chair. I get that she's a doctor and everything, but like, she hasn't really brought anything to this season. For real, like, we actually haven't gotten anything in her storyline this season. We've only seen her maybe in her office, but like, to get like a personal storyline with her this season, we really haven't seen anything. So I found that very odd that she is first chair. Simone, yes, Simone deserves to be first chair. Simone has been in the mix of things, but Jackie, I don't really get it. And that's what I'm saying. This, I don't know, putting Jackie on this pedestal just because she is the doctor, she's a doctor in the group. Simone is also a doctor. Mimi is also a doctor. Brandy is also a doctor, or in the medical field. Why not somebody else? So that's just my own opinion on things. Well, at the end of the day, I think the next day, Simone is a bit willing to speak to Heavenly, and I think they do have a conversation. Um, Toya, during the whole, when the ladies were trying to get Heavenly and Simone to speak, Toya was obviously being messy, like typical Toya behavior. Not letting Heavenly get her point across, instigating and all that. And I love that Mimi kind of clocked her in those moments. Like, girl, like, let these two talk. Like, this doesn't have anything to do with any of us. keep your own grievances aside. We'll get to that. But right now, we're trying to focus on getting these two together. So stop interjecting. I know you have issues with Heavenly, but this is not about you right now. And I do love that Mimi was vocal in those moments, because I don't know if you remember in my previous reviews, I've been talking about how Mimi actually been making a lot of sense. But I feel like Mimi be talking about it behind the scenes or to other people. She doesn't say it to the person that she is actually talking about. So I love that in this episode, she actually addressed Toya, like, Toya, stop, you're being messy. Like, let these two handle themselves like grown adults. Let's not get in the mix of it. So I do love that Mimi did that, and hopefully we get to see her do more of that, stand up for herself, stand up for her friends, and just, directly address people that need to be addressed and all. So that was pretty good. But that's pretty much what this episode was about. I think also Cecil has a conversation with his boys, and I'm just like, Cecil, this is like 10 years late. Like, you should have had these conversations with your sons like years ago. Why are we just having it now? Like when Simone is like screaming her lungs out. Like, Simone has been screaming her lungs out about this whole situation of you not supporting her for years now. Why is it now that you're sitting these boys down and having this conversation with them, telling them how their mom is stressed and now how their mom is this and that and this and that? Like, what is wrong with Cecil? Please, like, Simone should just leave him, because I honestly feel like he's part of the reasons why Simone has been miserable all these years. Like, maybe this marriage is not doing her justice. Like, maybe she does need to leave him and live her life. Because Simone seems very unhappy and has seemed very unhappy for the longest time. And I also feel like maybe that's part of the reasons why she has had a lot of issues with Quad, because maybe she does envy Quad's life. Quad doesn't have a man, Quad doesn't need a man, but Quad is able to sustain her lifestyle. And speaking of Quad, I saw recently that her and King have broken up. I think there was a post that was made by King, and someone commented under about him and Quad, and then he said something like messy, like, oh, that chapter is over or something like that. I can't remember what exactly he said, and it's just like, I'm not surprised. I knew that they were not going to last, even with the way this season has been playing out, with how his vibe has been with this whole IVF journey. Yes, I know that I can understand that the journey itself can be very draining sometimes, emotionally, physically, financially, for the people involved, but it just didn't feel like there was any kind of support from him. Even the scene where she was crying, with the whole process, no, the process failing through and all that, his reaction just wasn't moving. It just didn't feel like sincere, and it just felt like Quad was just doing all these things all on her own, and he was just kind of like acting like a sperm donor. Mind you, they're in a relationship together and they're quote unquote doing this whole process together. So finding out that they're not together anymore isn't shocking. Finding out him responding in a messy way about the whole situation, even though Quad has said nothing about it, is not shocking anymore. It's not shocking as well. I think even he says he is the one that ended it, and I'm just like, we didn't really need to know that, but okay, bro, go off, I guess. Like, I don't know, just very petty. I just want Kwa to just live her life. Like, Kwa shouldn't focus on men. She should just focus on living her best life. She should focus on traveling. She should focus on doing the things she loves. And if she really, really wants a child like that, maybe she should just do the process on her own. Because these men ain't shit. At least the ones that she has encountered so far. Because Dr. Greg was not any better. He was even worse, in my opinion. So maybe Kwa just needs some time to just be on her own, live life on her own, and just enjoy her company, enjoy the company of her girlfriends, friends, and everything, and just not take anything so seriously right now with men. I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say about Married to Medicine. Real Housewives of Potomac, again, not much to say. Karen reunites with her family. It was nice to see her son, her eldest son, come, to show support, because we know that he doesn't like to be filmed. We've probably seen him like once or twice this whole show. Like, since the beginning of this show, we've probably seen him like once, twice, or maximum 3 times. So it was nice to see him, show support to his mom on camera and just be there for her as well. But yeah, Karen comes back home. She reunites with her family. They ask her about her braids that I spoke about last episode, and she tells them that it was actually the girls, like her inmates that she was friends with, that actually took the braids off their hair and put it on her hair to braid for her to look nice. This is probably just an unpopular opinion, but I found that very gross. I know maybe that's just me being too judgy. I found it a bit gross because it's one thing to reuse braids that you used on your own hair, or maybe braids that, okay, closest, maybe your sister used, and then was that way you can reuse it. But the braids of not just one stranger, but like multiple strangers on your own hair, I'm sorry, if it was me, I would have just come out with my own cornrows. Like maybe they should have just braided cornrows for me to come out. That would have been better. For people to put the extensions on their own head, multiple heads on my head, that just seems very gross to me. I know maybe I am just insensitive, and by the grace of God, I will never experience something like that to the point where I'm in jail and everything. Like God forbid. But to me, that was gross. We can say, okay, yeah, she didn't have, they're in jail, they don't have access to these things, blah, blah, blah. So they had to make do with what they had. Karen has hair on her head, right? Why didn't Karen just use her own hair and they just make cornrows with her hair? It didn't have to be braids. That's just my own point. Like, you can come for me in the comment section, no problem. But I just found it a bit disgusting and all that. But yeah, we find out about that. And then I guess a few days later, Andy comes and interviews her, asks her like the tough questions and all that. And for me, I just feel like, I know a lot of people feel like she didn't take accountability. I feel like she took accountability only when it came to the medication, like drug aspect of things. But she didn't take a lot of accountability when it came to the drinking aspect of things. In my opinion, I'm like, what difference does it make, Karen? Like, why not? They're literally the same thing. Why are you separating? Oh, this was where I really had a problem with, and this one, oh, it wasn't this, it was that. Like, with Karen, sometimes it doesn't make sense, the things that she tries to defend. It's like, just own everything. Nobody is gonna kill you now if you own everything. Like, you've served your time. There's no reason for you to like pick and choose what you want to own up to and what you don't want to own up to. You served the time for whatever the sentence is, where you were sentenced based off, a drinking problem, like drinking too much and getting into an accident on the road, like multiple times, multiple DUIs. So for you to not own up, especially to the main cause of your charges, in terms of like what caused it, not owning up to your drinking problem, but instead owning up to substance abuse and all that, just didn't make sense to me. But then that's typical Karen. Karen doesn't own up to the weirdest things. It's like, why are you still fighting this? It's so obvious that this is the issue at hand, and we can all see it, but you're owning up to other things. But the main one that is so obvious, like, I don't know. Karen just be confusing me sometimes. And then I think they asked her about Wendy. She shades Wendy. I don't even know what that joke was about, because if she, I guess, made fun about something with Wendy's house, they called it some weird name, and I didn't really know what that was. Somebody please explain it to me what that was supposed to be. But I googled the thing that she called Wendy's home. I can't remember it now, and it was just like these like sand houses and everything. And I'm just like, I'm hoping that wasn't a dig to Wendy's, like Wendy being Nigerian type of thing. I don't know. Like, I didn't really get the joke or get the shade. So somebody please explain that to me, because I didn't really understand it. But again, typical Karen. Like, she could have said something. She could have gone high in that situation rather than go low, but I guess she needed to be shady in that situation. And for me, what really upsets me about this whole situation is there are a lot of people online that are like, oh, we want Karen back, we want Karen back. We don't care, she has served her time, this season was this and that without her. But these are the same people that are like, Wendy should never be back. Like, Wendy, they should never bring Wendy back. This thing that she did is despicable. This is that, and it's like, why the double standards? We have somebody that literally could have caused harm to other people by her actions, drinking and driving. And we have another person, yes, that did a crime that is also bad, but it didn't harm anyone physically, and yet you're holding that person to a different standard. In my opinion, both people should be held at the same standard. If you feel that this person should be given another chance to come back on this show, Why can't this person be given another chance? And if you feel like this person shouldn't come back to the show, why are you saying this person should be able to come back to the show? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me sometimes, the way the Bravo fans, prioritize certain people or give certain people the benefit of the doubt. Any crime is a crime at the end of the day, but if we're going to weigh both crimes, I feel like Karen's behavior was even way worse, because somebody else could have been harmed. She could have been harmed. She could have been killed. A stranger could have been killed and all that, compared to Wendy's charges. So I don't know. I don't know what these double standards are with the Bravo fans, especially when it comes to the black franchises. I don't want to believe it's a colorism type of thing. I do believe that if one lady deserves a chance, the other lady deserves a chance. I do like Wendy. I do like Karen. They both have their flaws from time to time and everything. And I don't agree with the things that they have been charged. Well, what's her name? Karen was obviously charged and what's it called? Convicted. So yes, she did, that thing did happen. But I don't agree with the things that Wendy has been charged with allegedly as well. And but I can also say that, you know what? If I can give Karen the benefit of the doubt, I can definitely give Wendy the benefit of the doubt. And if Karen is able to come back on this show, Wendy should definitely be able to come back on this show. Should the things that she's been charged for, allegedly, if she is convicted of them and she serves the time and everything, yes, why not? Because Karen is going to be brought back to the show. So why should Wendy not be brought back to the show if she goes through the due process, if she's charged for the crimes that she has been, you know, if she's convicted for the crimes that she has been charged for allegedly? So yeah, like, I don't get all those type of things. That's just what I feel about the whole thing. The interview, it was met to me. I wasn't really entertained. It was just Karen being typical Karen, owning up to the things that she feels she wants to own up to, and then skating around the things that she doesn't really want to own up to. I'm curious to see how the reunion is gonna go. I think that's coming out next. At least the first part is coming out next week, and we're also gonna get a new episode of Married to Medicine next week. We didn't get one this week because of the Super Bowl, I believe. So everything has been moved up to next week, which kind of favors me because I didn't post any video last week. But that's the end of this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'm so sorry that this video is short. I'm, like I said, not feeling well. I have a cough, as you can hear in my voice, and some cold and all that. But I promise you that by next week, when the new episodes come out and I make those videos, I will definitely be more bubbly and feel much better. But take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.